from, really, in terms of those numbers. So Casamayor, I think, though, even though we're interested in seeing what Russell Stoner Jones brings to the table here tonight, Casamayor, another Cuban who defected to America, is a very interesting story and a guy who a lot of people have a lot of hopes for, Sean.
Sure, Rich. He has really stepped up his last couple of fights. He fought nobodies up until the last two, and he really stepped up to the plate. He really showed what he could do. And in tonight's fight, it's extremely important for him to continue that, to show us his abilities and his skills inside the ropes.
He's a skilled fighter, 1992 Olympic champion. Russell Stoner Jones is the guy tonight who thinks he can upset the odds, and maybe he can. He came that close to beating Tracy Harris Patterson, lost a very close split decision in January to Patterson, thinks he can beat his opponent Casamayor here tonight. So we're ready for our main event of the evening, and let's go up now to our ring announcer, Thomas Schreiber, for the introduction of the two fighters.
First, fighting to my left out of the red corner, he's wearing green trunks with yellow trim and weighed in at 129 3/4 pounds. Hailing from Accra, Ghana, Africa, he has a professional record of 11 wins, 5 losses, with 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Russell Stoner Jones. And his opponent fighting directly across from him out of the blue corner. Tonight he's wearing white trunks with red and blue trim and weighed in at 130 pounds. Fighting out of Miami, Florida, by way of Guantanamo, Cuba, this gold medalist at the 1992 Olympics now has a perfect record of 15 wins, no losses, with 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the currently ranked #2 contender in the world by the IBF, #4 by the WBC, and reigning NABF Junior Lightweight Champion, Joel El Cepillo Casamayor.
Hey, Russell!
Once again, your referee.
Accra, Ghana. As you can see, Casamayor much busier in round #1.
Well, Jones is going to have a chance at this. He's got to start landing punches. Look at that, only 5 shots landed for Jones. You know, he perhaps a bit nervous coming into this fight. He wasn't quite sure what to expect. Neither fighter knew much about their opponent.
Casamayor seems to be doing a good job of throwing a high volume of punches, though, Sean, and keeping Jones so busy trying to defend himself and get away, he doesn't have a chance to launch an arsenal of his own.
And Casamayor is so good at adapting in the ring. You know, he had so many amateur fights, and when you have those amateur tournaments, you don't know anything about your opponent. You have to be able to adapt second by second in the ring, and that's what he's good at.
Just over 400 amateur fights, in fact, for Casamayor. He won 380, was a world champion in 91, amateur world champion, gold medalist in 92, and as we mentioned, probably on his way to another one in 96 had he not defected.
Good combination. Nice right uppercut from Casamayor. Joe Goosen has been working on his power shots. There is Joe Goosen, who has become a terrific trainer. Good combination. Casamayor landing shots on the outside. A lot of nice hooks from Cepillo.
Jones just can't get off, Sean. He is really being dominated to this point by Casamayor, and this is a very impressive first round and a half for the Cuban.
Yeah, dominated because Jones has been fighting as a super featherweight, 122-pound weight class. Now he's moving up in weight to this junior lightweight division, which is 130 pounds. And you really see the difference in strength of these two fighters. Look at the backtracking from Jones.
Jones has been a fighter who throws a high volume of punches himself in his career. He is known for that. Now he catches with the straight right hand, catches Casamayor coming in.
And Jones has to go to his speed. Forget about power at this point. Just use your speed. You can't match power, and you can't wrestle around with somebody like Casamayor. Casamayor, the bigger, stronger, taller fighter. Casamayor, 5'5" as a junior lightweight.
Casamayor actually looks a little bit like a Buddy McGirt in there when he fights. Coming forward. And a nice combination by Casamayor to end round 2.
Time Life invites you to own the ultimate World War II video set. For the first time, see where the war was won and lost.
Garcia is seeing when to wipe some of the Vaseline off. The referee has to take a look at that. Restrict the Vaseline only because it gets on your gloves, and then it ends up getting in your eyes.
Man, it's just an unbelievable and awesome differential in the amount of punches. Now, Jones has landed through 2 rounds, only 13 punches.
Averaging 4 punches a round. You can't win fights like that. They were telling him between rounds, keep your left feet outside your opponent's right foot, which is what you're supposed to do against southpaw fighters. But at this point, forget about your feet. You got to start throwing punches. I never hit. Maybe he's got 2 left feet too.
Well,
the trainer did say keep your left feet outside his right foot.
They'd like him to put some punches together, though, and throw more than 1 punch at a time.
Yeah.
You saw those punch stats. I think they speak volumes for what's going on in this fight.
Can't be thinking too much in the ring. Just let your punches fly. Also, the aggressiveness from Casamayor is only going to help Jones. He's got to start just putting some punches out. Jones frozen in time. Waiting, hesitating, looking for the opening. When you see a fighter like that, they are glove shy. Glove shy. Every time they reach to throw a punch, they get smacked, so they stop reaching.
Step back, step back.
Casamayor, a junior lightweight. So we're talking about the division, of course, that has some very talented fighters. A tremendous left cross by Casamayor, who really is impressive. I like what I'm seeing from Joel Casamayor. He looks like he could be really a world-class fighter.
How much confidence does for a fighter is amazing. You know, he picked up the NABF title his last fight, and with that, all of a sudden, it propels him into another caliber of fighter. He is called a champion. Whereas before, it was just his hope to be a professional champion.
What that was all about, the referee had yelled to break and hold it, and then Casamayor hit him after that. Casamayor throws that jab out there with intent and tries to work off of it.
Body shot from Jones. Jones has just 1 shot. You got to put combinations together. Joel Casamayor is too good to hit with just 1 punch. Jones, a lot of retreating. Judges are looking at this saying, well, he must be getting beat because he's backing up. Keep your punches up.
So another dominant round by Joel Casamayor. That's 3 in the bank for the Cuban.
He says his best power is in his left hand, naturally left-handed.
And we are in round 4 now. This is scheduled for 10. The talented Cuban fighter Joel Casamayor, Olympic gold medalist, dominating the fight. Sean O'Grady has it split 30-27, giving every round so far to Casamayor by a 10-9 margin.
And look at the change of style now by Casamayor. More pressure, more combinations with more power. And he may have Jones hurt right there.
And he moves, putting his punches together very well. Casamayor pinioning Jones in the corner, doing a good job, not getting him an escape route out of there.
Nice job of cutting the ring off. You know, you can see Joe Goosen's influence on Casamayor. Cutting the ring off is a professional move. Putting this pressure on like he's putting. You know, that pressure just makes fighters fold. You put pressure on them, you make them work. If they're not in shape, it's going to show.
Let go, let go, let go.
Well, if you're looking for future opponents down the road for the likes of champions like Robert Garcia and Floyd Mayweather, you're going to have to start penciling in Joel Casamayor, I believe, off of what we've seen so far here tonight. I think he's quite short for a junior lightweight, though, for a 130-pounder at 5'5". Do you think that will inhibit his progress at all, Sean, in the future?
His style, and at this point in his career, he's really a professional amateur fighter. He already knows how to fight. He's faced all kinds of styles coming up in the amateur ranks. I don't think that will be any bit of a problem at all. And the way he learns how you fight the taller foes as well as how you fight the shorter foes. But Jones has to get his hands moving.
Well, he has not been able to get started. Casamayor came out right at the very beginning, Sean, and just took command immediately at the start of this fight and has never relinquished it.
I think Jones may be in the same training camp as Agustin Caballero. Caballero extremely defensive, not throwing a lot of punches. Although when Caballero did throw, he hurt Mario Iribarren.
Well, Jones, though, is using an opposite attack, not any more successful, really, but he's not holding his opponent, Casamayor. He's trying to move away, and
that might help him.
Yeah.
That might help him if he'd hold him a little bit.
But he gets rocked again with that combination.
Joel walking over, just walking over Jones, barreling into him.
Nice. Step back.
We come to the end of round 4. For his 16th consecutive victory against Russell Stoner Jones of Accra, Ghana, and look at him put his combinations together. Casamayor has been dominant through the first portion of this fight, and the numbers tell it all.
Wow. Figures speak for themselves. The numbers don't lie. Look at that.
Only 28 punches landed by Jones through 4 rounds. An average of 7 punches a round landing by Jones. He's just trying to figure out a way to avoid punches from Casamayor and not throwing anything of his own.
Well, Jones came into the fight quite confident. He said he was going to pull this one out. He said, I will know how to handle him after the first round. Speaking of Casamayor, but I think the strength of Joel has given the biggest problem to Jones. Jones can't handle it, the strength.
Casamayor just never seems satisfied with throwing 1 punch at a time, Sean. He always wants to put punches together, 2, 3, 4 at a time.
And it's a shame that Jones doesn't learn that from him. Jones is so busy ducking out of the way of punches that he can't.
Step back. Step back. Step back. Wait.
Step back.
Step back.
None of that.
Dale la mano. All right, let's go.
Over Garcia. Again, the combinations. The key to boxing is combinations. You hit your opponent with 3s and 4 punches.
He's getting Jones a little dizzy in there, I think, now.
Okay, good punches. Step back.
By putting those punches together. In his corner, Joe Goosen was telling him, don't forget about your hook, your right hook now. Don't depend completely on your left, don't just on your left cross. He wants him to throw the right hook as well to punctuate an end combination.
Well, Jones kept telling me he's a busy fighter. Maybe he meant it with dizzy fighter. I didn't understand him correctly. Maybe that's what he meant. What a change in Casamayor. I've been a fan of his since he turned professional, and he has been okay, but he hasn't really fought anybody. Then when he stepped up to the plate 2 fights ago, he just looked like such a different fighter. And Joe Goosen has done a terrific job of training him and teaching him pro boxing. Look at that shot. He had a left cross uppercut from Casamayor.
And Sean is referring to his fight against Jose Luis Maiolo, who he dominated. A very good fighter. Went into the ring with a 22-1-1 record against Casamayor. And Casamayor just took him apart. And he's doing the same thing here to Jones, although Jones finally lands an effective punch, his first one of the fight. We come to the end of round 5.
Hey, buddy. Yeah. How come you're always...
That left hand they've done a great deal of work on. And he has a good one. It is not only fast, but it's powerful. Goosen has done a great job of shifting the weight of Casamayor. Before, he just wanted to box from the outside. Now he's getting in there a little bit more, and he's moving his weight in to hurt his opponents.
And once again, Jones, if you take a look at his distribution of punches, could not land a body punch in the entire round. Whenever he was able to throw, he was throwing to the head. Ooh. Just busy trying to defend himself against this onslaught from Joel Casamayor. Look at that balance of Casamayor. Really good.
Always in position to punch. The same distance separates his feet at all times.
Okay, quick punches. Step back. Let go. No, Luis. Go.
In terms of a fight plan here, Sean, I mean, is there anything Jones could do to try to turn the tide here a little bit, other than the way he's been fighting?
Boy, he is really getting rocked, too.
He's been fighting in long range, lateral movement, trying to use motion.
Nothing wins fights more than throwing punches. He is just, bottom line, he's just not throwing enough punches. And he's getting rocked. He can't match the strength of Casamayor. He's got to rely on speed. He has to get in, throw, and then move. And he's not particularly a mover. He's going to be moving down if he doesn't start throwing punches. Single shots from Jones. Oh.
It's never a single shot from Casamayor, though.
Jones is a Timex fighter. He takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
Finally trying to put something together himself there is Jones.
Yeah, one of the few combinations we've seen from him. Oh.
Right.
Look also how Casamayor is getting down. You know, the amateur boxers have been notorious, especially the fighters from Cuba, notorious for standing straight up and scoring from outside. Look at how he's getting down and moving in with his punches. You touch a ball up like a coil and then spring out at your opponent, dig in your toes, and punch. That's what Casamayor is doing.
And he's beginning to break down Stoner Jones at this point. Jones dabbing at his eye to see if he's cut. Casamayor totally in control.
Yeah, it's really a ball game. Casamayor pitching. Russell Jones catching.
Jones missing as the bell sounds to end the round.
If you go in your fight, you kick your ass on 267.
Exchange punches. Jones has quick hands himself. After 6 rounds, you can see how one-sided the bout has been in terms of the number of punches thrown. Casamayor has thrown over 3 times as many, and he's landed about 4 times as many.
Landed him hard on the nose of Jones. Jones retreating. Jones up to Casamayor to cut this ring off. Wild swinging hook from Jones,
who is trying to fight off the ropes in this round, at least, as he comes off. When he comes off those ropes, he's throwing something out there. What about in terms of power? Casamayor, 10 KOs in 15 fights. He hasn't exhibited one punch kind of a thudding power here tonight. He's breaking his opponent down. In terms of power, what do you think, Sean?
I think they still have a lot of work to do in that area, but I know what Joe Goosen is trying to do. He's trying to get him down and put his power behind him more. It takes a long time to change any kind of fighter's stance, and that's what Goosen is doing, and he's taking it one step at a time. Right now, trying to get Casamayor down and throwing the combination. Next, he's going to start getting him to rotate his shoulders more. Put more of that power into it.
Casamayor also going to the body a little more in this round.
Very impressed with Casamayor. I saw him early in his career. He didn't look this good. As strong, as powerful, as commanding. Look at that left hand. Whoa.
That one rocked Jones.
Jones comes back.
Just 2 months ago, Jones went 10 strong rounds with Tracy Harris Patterson. Lost a very narrow split decision in that fight.
A fight that he says he thought he won about 7 rounds, but they gave it to Tracy Patterson. You know, there are some fighters who believe they're winning the rounds even though they're getting beat. There's a good left hook from Jones. Casamayor cannot get lazy.
Now he's leaning back from some of these punches, which can be a dangerous defensive maneuver, Casamayor.
Not a big fan of that. I'd rather see him, bend down, squat down. Then you pick your head up and scoot back like that, your opponent can tag you right on the end.
So round 7, a little bit run around at times for Jones, but probably still in the Casamayor column.
Left. Against southpaw fighters, you're taught to move to your left. That's behind them. They have to reset. Don't move to your right. If you move to your right, you get into their power. Their power punch is that straight left, as is Casamayor. You control your opponent with the movement of your feet.
Putting his punches together, body and him.
Yeah, up and down, too. That is signature Joe Goosen.
Goosen has had, of course, former world champions with the Ruelas brothers, with Michael Nunn, and they could be dreaming of another one here with Joel Casamayor.
See single punches from Jones. Bill would like to see Jones perhaps a bit confused at the speed of Casamayor. Taking a little time.
Goosen does a good job with Casamayor in the corner each round of basically giving him just one or two things to think about. You see him, like Joe Goosen in the right-hand corner of your screen right now looking in. He doesn't get overexcited in the corner.
No, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't when you have a good professional like Casamayor. You don't want to fire him up. You know, you don't want to get him excited. You want to keep him calm, tell him a couple of things in between rounds. Don't take up any unnecessary time. I'm going to give him a couple things to work on to remember.
And he is being translated in the corner also.
Yeah, they have to go through so even less time for Joe Goosen to give instructions. He has to go through an interpreter.
One of the things he wants him to do is to keep his defense a little tighter than he was in the last round. We talked about him leaning back from punches, getting a little reckless, and also to start off his combinations with jabs.
And you saw that with Iri Baran in the last fight. Iri Baran wasn't real skillful at defense. Oh,
nice left hook.
That same punch. You know, that punch comes at you from a different angle. It's not really an uppercut. It's kind of a hook uppercut. It's like right in that middle zone. Jones doesn't see it. It surprises him.
So the domination continues by Joel Casamayor. Right young contender. Not that young, though, really, when you consider he's 27 years old, but of course he had that extensive amateur experience in Cuba, Joel Casamayor, whose domination, believe it or not, it was not quite as pronounced that round as it was in some of the earlier rounds. The numbers you're looking at now are actually a little closer than they were in some of the earlier rounds.
Well, Jones had a little bit of aggressiveness in that 8th round. Not a lot, a little bit.
Still putting his punches together very well. And he always tries to get, it seems, at least one body punch into that combination when he throws.
Yeah, that's nice. And he tries to always end it up with the best punch. Casamayor does. Well, I'll tell you, there's so many things in this fight that Jones could learn from. Now, of course, he'll have to watch the tape because he's way too busy to learn in there tonight.
Well, I'm sure that Russell will not be claiming that he won this fight, as he's been claiming that he won the previous bouts that he has been defeated in. He has been dominated here by Joel Casamayor.
Oh, look at that. The good work from Casamayor. There's the defensive work. And a little shuffle. Showboating.
Casamayor got caught with a right hand that time. And a little too relaxed, a little too cocky maybe in there, and he got caught with a right hand. And another one now by Jones.
Keep punching. Step back. Okay, quit punching. Step back. I'll do it tonight.
Casamayor landing the vast majority of punches, but every now and then Jones lands something to let him know he's still there.
Yeah, occasionally, but Jones here trying to go for the KO. Russell Jones has 7 KOs in his 11 wins, so he does have a little bit of power.
Sometimes we see Casamayor, Sean, actually jabbing to the body. How effective is that really in terms of weaponry?
If you do it correctly, it's very effective. If you do it incorrectly, it's a real detriment to you. And he does it correctly. You bend down and then go to the body. You don't reach for the body. Oh, Casamayor taking some shots this round.
Yes, Jones landing some significant punches, I think, in this round for the first time. Again, the right hand as he kept that the left low, did Casamayor. But he pops right back. Jones never seems to get the chance to build on whatever he lands in terms of the combination. 9 long rounds for Russell. Fans give him a good hand. There we go. Novar Garcia telling both fighters to keep it clean the last round. It's been, for the most part, unlike our first bout this evening, a very cleanly fought fight.
And a very interesting fight. Even though it's been one-sided, it has been interesting. Casamayor has been able to keep up the activity throughout this fight.
And the punch stats that you see indicate, though, the one-sided nature in the terms of the volume of punches. Casamayor extremely busy. 289 punches landed. Less than 100 for Jones. And he's thrown over 700 here coming to the 10th round. Well, I think he's giving a lot of junior lightweights a lot to think about here tonight. Jones has just been in this defensive posture from the first minute of this fight on.
It's because of that strength. He tasted the strength and the power in that first minute of that first round, and he said no more of that. Jones has been in his survival mode tonight.
Of course, if we go by the scoring in the Lewis Holyfield fight, which had a similar disparity in punches landed, this might be a very close fight on the judges' scorecards. I still can't quite get over that.
Neither can Lennox Lewis. Casamayor keeping up the pace pretty well. You know, he has been the one tonight who has thrown the most punches. He's instigated the attack.
He's very businesslike in there, Sean. The same way that he told you that he acted businesslike, and that's the kind of person he was. That's how he is in the ring, too. A little bit of flash here and there in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, but he's earned the right to do that, to give you the flag. He's earned the right to try to relax a little bit. You know, between rounds, Joe Gruesome said, don't get lazy out there. Don't let him catch you with any unnecessary punches. Gruesome told him he's very comfortably ahead. You just go out there and you box, you keep your combinations, you don't get tagged.
In against a fellow by the name of Glenn.
Get busy on you, Russell. Jab with him. Short curve. Go in there,